Okay, we're back with another video looking at what's upcoming in the World Cup and what's been happening in the last few days. Remember to like and subscribe to our channel. And, today I wanted to briefly look at um the last match day we previewed, which was the day where Portugal played Congo, England played Croatia, Ghana played Panama. Let's touch on those. We did talk a lot about England in the preview. We did a whole preview episode. What were your thoughts on that England and Croatia game? I was impressed. I think in general, it was immediate from the start of the game. There was a lot of balance, maybe more balance than we've seen in many England teams. In fact, I was actually thinking about this. I haven't really seen a balanced England team since I've been watching international football. Like a really balanced and without like a clear weakness, right? So that in itself felt a bit different. It wasn't perfect by any means, but what were your thoughts?
The England game was quite good for me. Um, I think Croatia always going to be a decent opposition. They're always going to create chances because they have a lot of quality, but they didn't have the legs to keep up with England. I think Harry Kane was very good. Harry Kane had a great game. He's taken up this new role, this position that he plays, this quarterback role that he's taken up, and it worked very well with all the teammates that he had. You saw Gordon, you saw Madueke, Bellingham. As soon as Harry Kane's on the ball, guys making runs, trying to miss space. England defended very well as. Oh, first half was a little bit tight, but the second half you could see England. They had the tactic and they kind of snuffed out everything that Croatia was trying to do. So I think it was a good game in terms of the balance, like you said as well. It was a good game.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think the whole team was based around Harry Kane. That's what we've been talking about, right? When we were previewing England. And I think this whole squad was kind of built around Harry Kane in the first place, getting runners off him, allowing him to drop deep, but still have a presence, and options for him to find, right? Just have a lot of movement around him. And he's so good at that role, dropping deep. Some of the passes he was playing, he was also winning the ball back. He does it all, and then at the end of the day, he scored 2 goals as well, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I remember when we were first talking about the England squad and we were talking about how bad it was, but then I came back later on and I said actually I've got a little bit more faith in Tuchel, and the reason was because at the first time I wasn't thinking about the aspect of building the team around Harry Kane. But then when I realized, okay, if that is what we're trying to do, how well does the team look in terms of lineup? Of course, guys like Harry Maguire would help, I think. But in terms of building a team around Harry Kane, I don't think. Of course, Trent is a top player, but we have Reece James. We have players. It would be nice to have someone like Trent and even like Adam Wharton it would be nice to have these kind of players in the squad. But if you're going to build the team around Harry Kane, and Harry Kane is the focal point, I I can see how it's not such a bad squad, and I can see how he's looked at it and seen, okay, there's certain guys that actually need to be in the squad, like the runners, Gordon, Rogers, Bellingham, Saka, Madueke. I can see why these are the he. I think he picked those players before he picked the other players. Of course, Declan Rice is always going to be in the eyes of England managers as well. But attacking wise, I was very impressed. I'll put it like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I think you look at some of the omissions, and yeah, I still don't agree with some of them, but I don't think they will matter unless there's injuries. That's my position when I look at this team, because as you say, Reece James, O'Reilly as fullbacks isn't a very high level fullback pairing. They offer a lot going forward, but Reece James also very good defensively. I do think O'Reilly's someone who might have to watch against a tougher when he's got a 1v1 challenge there.
Of course.
Um, and I definitely, hence why I would have taken another left back option, who's left footed. But yeah, Gordon and Rashford off the left, Madueke and Saka, it's the perfect profiles you want playing around the Harry Kane, right? And I don't think that means he got selection perfect, but even still, it doesn't matter because it's the group stage, right?
Yeah.
And you could also make the argument, right? We know Saka's injured, so Madueke playing, especially when you don't need to use and overuse Saka, makes sense, right? And he
Yeah.
also tires out the opposition, and you bring Saka on for the last 30 minutes.
Yeah.
He played well when he came on. It's a really
And
dangerous proposition for the opposition, right? You
yeah.
see Saka coming up against you when you're tired. You see Rashford coming up against you when
Yeah.
you're tired.
That's the other one I was gonna say. Rashford. Yeah. That
Yeah,
was. Yeah.
it's a it's really really frightening. But I think
Yeah.
me, you also just logically got to think about, all right, most games we're starting off and it's 90 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Based on that first performance from Anthony Gordon, I think it's hard to justify him playing more minutes than Rashford if Rashford's not got an injury or anything like that. I do think maybe you could play one of Madueke and Gordon from the start and one of them off the bench, and that it's still, Gordon off the bench is also a dangerous proposition because he's very quick, right? He presses a lot, all the stuff you don't want to be dealing with. Again, if you've got tired legs, I think Rashford, he has just that extra bit of quality on the ball, right? He showed it with the goal, composure, there, that last movement. I'm not saying Gordon couldn't score that goal, but I just think Rashford in general has that extra bit of quality, and I would start him in the next game against Ghana. Bellingham played great.
Yeah.
People doubted him. People were saying Rodgers should be starting. This guy's a complete midfielder. Come on, man. This guy's got it all. He wins the ball back, drives with the ball. Very
Can
clever player.
score.
Can score exactly.
Yeah. He's got
He's like,
everything.
how I don't think people should doubt him again. Like that, like he's one of the guys. He would be one of my first names on the team sheet for sure. And yeah, I think the only little things as well to worry about. I would bring in Mark Gay
Yeah.
just because I kind of felt like there was a right hand side bias. And I think Mark Gay is very good at playing left centre back. Well, he's well used to it as well. He's quite both footed, and what that does is it just opens up certain passing lanes. I think you'll get the ball to O'Reilly higher up the pitch earlier. Which I think would have been easy in that Croatia game because they didn't have like wingers up against them. It would have been something really valuable to take advantage of that England weren't really able to. But
Who was
that's
was
that's
it? John,
that's a little change.
was it John Stones who was
Yeah, John
playing?
Stones. He's a good passer as well. So he didn't do terribly in that role. But I do think he's slightly more natural at right centre back.
Yeah.
I think it's fine to rotate those centre backs and use them for different reasons, different games. If maybe you're worried about someone really quick, maybe you want to play Konzengay. If maybe you really feel like it's going to be tough for the midfield to get onto the ball, and have passes from deep, then maybe you really need to prioritize having John Stones in the game. So I think those are the types of decisions Tuchel has to think about. Declan Rice in open play didn't do anything, really, but
What would you
great
expect?
corner,
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
amazing corner, as
Yeah.
we've come to expect from Declan Rice.
I want to make a quick point about Declan Rice. I mean, if you look at the stats, I think Elliot Anderson is doing Declan Rice's work. Like the work that I would have expected Declan Rice to be doing. Elliot Anderson is doing all of that. He's clearing up. He's winning the ball. He's doing all the Declan Rice things. So right now, to me, it looks like Declan Rice is there for corners. Don't get me wrong, corners. I guess it must be part of an important part of Tuchel's tactics and what he thinks we could use to win. But I think to me, how it looked to me against Croatia was that Declan Rice is going to be vital more for corners than for anything else in the tournament,
Right.
which is quite interesting. I mean, because that could be a Kobe Mainu or Adam Wharton in the midfield to help with the actual play. But anyway, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, that's an interesting point because the funny thing about Declan Rice is the games you're gonna value him being there are the games where you kind of accept you're probably not going to be on the ball as much, and you
Yeah,
want him to just be that barrier in midfield. Just it's hard to get past, so hard to get past, and the legs up and down, constant, right? Against the France or Spain, I can see exactly why your first thought would be, okay, I really want the Declan Rice in my midfield there. But then the danger is for as a manager, and I think this is generally how some of these guys think. And because I think they'll see that Declan Rice isn't offering that much in some of these games in open play. But they don't want to bring in a Kobe Mainoo, because when Kobe Mainoo plays so well in these games, it's going to be hard to leave him out, right? And I generally think they think that's a manager like Tuchel for sure definitely thinks in a way where I've got to make it easier to make the decisions for the big games. I've got to give no argument, no controversy where I have to leave out a Kobe Mainoo for one of those games. So I think he's gonna only give Mainoo minutes here and there because he's thinking in the big games I need Declan Rice there. And I disagree with that because I think Kobe Mainoo is a top player defensively. I think him, Anderson, and Bellingham is more than enough in terms of being defensively able, winning the ball back, and then they're all better, under pressure on the ball. I was quite impressed with Anderson. He played pretty well against Croatia. So I do think that would be the better midfield in open play, bringing in mainly for Rice. I know a lot of people disagree with that, but in any case, he's gonna play, and the corners are, as you said, very, very useful, right? Looking good. Then just last word on England. You had any change on your thoughts on how it's gonna look, or you think
based on the team that we had playing, I think there were the two areas I would probably look at. To be honest, I liked the idea of having Rashford and Saka come on to play against third legs. I think also the point you made about Mark Gay starting at left centre back, John's, to me, it's quite. I guess I understand in terms of experience. He's probably one of the older players in the squad and older defender, but I don't like he didn't play many. Did he even play 15 games this season? I'm not sure.
No. He was hardly there. And it's interesting because he was fit. He was talking about recently. He was fit most of this season, but he just wasn't being selected. So
and that's for me. That's a red flag, or yellow or orange flag at the minimum. So yeah, I think someone like who Mark Gahey, who's playing the same team and was selected ahead of him, I think that he really should be in the World Cup, he should be starting ahead of John Stones. Apart from that, I think they can go ahead. They can go ahead and they can. The next couple games.
Definitely contenders based on what I said. It's gonna be very difficult to beat England. Yeah. Looking at a team that was less impressive, in my opinion, Portugal. 1-1 draw with Congo.
Surprise.
I think we kind of previewed this very well because we mentioned how people shouldn't get too gassed by the names they're seeing on paper, right? And it's not going to look how you think it's going to look. And that's exactly what happened pretty much because they had a great start, actually. Scored an early goal with João Neves, great header. He's great in the air for a small guy. But then that was pretty much it in terms of controlling and having real dangerous opportunities. Congo defended very well, of course. Twanzebe, Wan-Bissaka, guys like that. Top players. But yeah, it wasn't working. Ronaldo, and now we've got the issue where there's political war going on. With Ronaldo, Bruno, different players getting the blame. Man, this is yeah. What did you think of Portugal performance?
Well, I mean, it wasn't. They started well, which again they've got good players, so I wasn't surprised. But they didn't control the match. I think Congo had more. I think if both teams were as clinical as they could have been, Congo would have beaten them. Congo would have scored more goals, and
I think Congo could have gone for it more. That's
the point I wanted to make. At the beginning of the game, I think Congo paid them too much respect. I think it was just a case of them paying Portugal because they've got players that you look at, Bruno Fernandes, Vitinha, João Neves, Bernardo Silva. You look at those players and you think, yeah, okay, we got to dig in and make it a scrappy performance. But then I think once they sat in and they realized, okay, these guys are not really threatening us. I think they decided, okay, you know what, we can push these guys. These guys they're not really, there's like, maybe they want to blame Ronaldo, and Ronaldo is the one who's trying to take all the glory. Let's just take advantage of this and let's go for it. And they played quite well, in regards to that. I think that now, after the game, like you said, everyone's piling on. I'd say the majority of people are piling on Ronaldo. I think Ronaldo is the one who's taken the majority of the blame. 41 years old, granddad. Why is he on the pitch? He should come off the bench. But my thing is, they didn't really create the chances. Like, in my opinion, if you want to blame the striker, you need to create the chances for the striker. And then the striker needs to not be doing what he's supposed to do for you to say, okay, the striker needs to be changed. But they weren't creating chances. So is that the striker?
Agree with that. I agree with that to an extent. But then with a Ronaldo, he very much wants chances that are suited to him, who he is now as a player, right? He wants the ball to his feet so he can. And I think there were certain moments. I think there was a clip going around of Thierry Henry talking about him. I'm not sure if you saw it, right? Where they were pulling the ball back, and really, if Ronaldo had just made a run like to the far post, it would have opened up a space. One of the centre backs would have definitely had to watch him, and Bruno was there to have a real chance. It was a good chance, but instead he took a step backwards to try and take the shot himself.
I remember that chance.
You remember that one? Yeah, exactly.
I remember that chance.
And it's like things like
that's
that.
That's Ronaldo, though, man.
Yeah, that's exactly.
This is Ronaldo since Real Madrid.
It's been a long time since he's had this one-track mind approach with goals. That's him. And this is the thing. If you ask, is Ronaldo helping them in so many areas? I'll say no. There's so many ways I say no. And it would probably be the easiest thing tactically to get rid of Ronaldo, take him out, and replace him with probably for me, a Rafael Leao up front, because at least he has so much more in terms of the dribbling ability. Hold on to ball. He's also a good finisher as well. When he's one-on-one, he can be. I think he can be hit and miss sometimes, but he's got the ability for sure.
Yeah.
But what everyone is missing when they say this stuff is you forget who Ronaldo is. Cristiano Ronaldo, and let's break down something, right? There's been heavy reports that Roberto Martínez is likely to join Al Nassr this summer. His contract with Portugal is coming to an end. And to just to really break down what's happening there, right? Al Nassr is, of course, Cristiano Ronaldo's club, right? They have a vacancy at the moment, and they're looking for a new manager, and they've decided, a great fit happens to be...
Jorge Jesus is leaving.
yeah, he's leaving, exactly, yeah. They just won the league, right? And they decided a great fit could be, this manager, Roberto Martínez, got a great CV, right? It just happens to be Ronaldo's manager in the national team, right? Now, what that means is Roberto Martínez is essentially auditioning for the job of being Ronaldo's manager by being Ronaldo's manager during this World Cup. And it gets worse. There's another layer to this. I'm pretty sure Ronaldo owns a significant stake in Al Nassr. I'm almost certain that was part
of his deal. Yeah.
It was, right? Yeah. I wanted to fact check that. So what we've pretty much got is a case of bribery going on here. If you think about it, because they're gonna decide his wages. His wages are gonna be crazy in Al Nassr, Roberto Martínez.
Because I've seen he doesn't. I don't think he's phased about the comments. He doesn't really care about what people are saying. And another part of it is he's not Portuguese, so I don't think he really cares about the. About the ascendance of Portugal winning the World Cup. He's not interested. I don't think he's it doesn't. It doesn't. It's not something that is personal and close to him. So, like you said, that's a good point. Him thinking about the future. Listen, I need to know. Ronaldo needs to know that that's my guy, and I'm his guy, and he's my guy. So
He's just got to be logical. He's got to think about his future,
yeah,
his family. If he's
yeah.
getting 20 mil a year, let's say he's getting 20 mil a year. I mean, like really and truly, that. And look, if we're being
This is,
harsh on
do you
Martinez,
know what?
maybe you know,
Let's just. I just want to. What
yeah.
everything I'm saying is it's allegedly, isn't it?
It's
Like I want
alleged,
to say
exactly.
allegedly.
Maybe you know, we don't want to
Allegedly.
question his character. But what I
Yeah.
will say is, Ronaldo is 41 years old, and he didn't even come off the pitch. There was not even a moment where it looked like he was going to get subbed in that game. Everyone else was worried about who's getting subbed. He was there. He was clear that of course. Why would you take him off? So when it comes to analyzing Portugal's next move, everyone should have that in their minds at least. And let's be realistic. Ronaldo's playing, okay? So it's now what's the best way to get the best out of the team with Ronaldo in the team, right?
Yeah.
And the answer to that is drop Bruno Fernandes. You have to drop Bruno Fernandes. And it's the thing I've been saying since 2019. 2019. I want to be very clear about this. This is before he joined Manchester United, just before. It was very clear to me that the way Bruno plays, the way Ronaldo played, even at that stage, could not work together.
Do you know what? Yeah, the point you make, yeah, it's not because it's not just Bruno Fernandes and Ronaldo. It's Bruno Fernandes and a lot of players. Bruno Fernandes, his style clashes with a lot of players, with the way a lot of players play. Like there are a lot of forwards that would have not. It's difficult the way he plays. You need to play how he wants to play. You cannot play your game with Bruno. He won't find a way to put himself in a position where he can adapt to your game.
He's not changing. You work around him. And if you do work around him, and if you're the type of player that suits how he plays, he's gonna accelerate. He can really help you. He's gonna just, you might see an 1.5 times X in the number of chances you're getting, how often you're getting the ball in dangerous areas. He is that type of player. He's a quick thinker. But you're right. It's just not gonna work. And for me, right, if you bring in João Felix, one straight swap, I genuinely believe if they replace Bruno Fernandes with João Felix against Uzbekistan in the next game, you will see an immediate improvement. Because João Felix is a number 10, more like a second striker from the 4-4-2 days, who he gets the ball, and it's not, okay, what's the best thing I can do in this immediate second, in this immediate place I am? No, it's, all right, what do I do now? Do I need to dribble a bit? Do I need to hold on to the ball? Do I turn? Do I do it with my left foot, right foot? And he, just like a lot, and most of the top number 10s in history, he can do that and allow Ronaldo to get in position, right? And then he can play in Neto, he can play in Bernardo Silva, and Ronaldo can be there for a tap-in or a header.
And another point is that we need to make about João Felix is that he's been playing with Ronaldo this whole season.
Great point. And his manager, his next manager could be Roberto Martínez. So that's an interesting dynamic as well. I think that change makes a lot of sense. I know people would hear that, a lot of Premier League fans especially will hear that and think, what? Taking out Player of the Year for Premier League flop João Felix? No. And you ask me, I don't think Bruno Fernandes is a better player than João Felix anyway. I think it's all about Bruno's had a team built around him. João Felix has never been in his best position since he left Benfica, which is incredible, but it happens, and happens with a lot of football players. So yeah, that's the change I recommend. And I think you'd see Ronaldo score at least one and Portugal win against Uzbekistan, which they might need to, because Colombia looked good. They looked good. Okay. Luis Diaz looked really good in that game, and it'll be a tough game for Portugal. So they really need to win that Uzbekistan game. Yeah. And I just want to talk before we preview the next games about Ghana.
Okay.
Right? Man, what I'll say is, what a rush. That moment when the winner went in, that was a real rush, because I was struggling, man. I was pressed pretty early into that game,
let me just say what I did, because
Yeah.
I fell asleep. At
Oh,
half
okay.
time,
Yeah.
at half time, I said no. I didn't have confidence. I just left. I went to sleep, and then I woke up in the morning and I'm seeing. Oh, okay. I'm seeing the messages. I see the score. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is because I
Let me,
wasn't.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
just
The
tell
game.
you,
Yeah.
nothing changed. Nothing changed the whole game. Like, nothing changed. We just had that chance in the 94th minute. Great run by Brandon Thomas Asante, Urechi, the hunger to get onto it, and euphoria. Yeah, what a
Okay.
moment.
Okay. Okay.
Because
Okay.
we
Okay.
needed that. We were out. We were out. The way we played that game, the chances of us beating England are close, not great. I mean,
Okay.
let's talk about that actually. We'll get onto it. We'll get onto that because,
Yeah.
but how we played in that game, if we played the same way against an England or Croatia, we had no chance. So, it was not looking good. And now the dreams are still open. I still have belief, and the World Cup is here to be taken. We're still here.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
3 points in the World Cup in the first game. We can
Mm-hmm.
take a lot. We can take a lot from that. I think. I
It
mean,
might be all we need.
yeah. I think based on the first game, Jordan Ayew, who we speak about a lot, like I was quite shocked at how bad he was. I was like, I don't want to say I was shocked, but I was like, this guy is not. He's not on the same level. Don't get me wrong. Like okay. One thing I'm happy about is that he made his record appearances for Ghana. He's Ghana's most ever catch player. Well done. We don't need to see this guy again. This guy
Nah.
there's nothing left.
Listen,
There's nothing
let's be real.
left.
Even at his best, he wasn't that good.
No.
Even at his best, he was like all right, he can play in the Premier League. He can
Yeah.
do a job for you.
Yeah.
And, he's really good at certain things, at winning fouls specifically. He's always really high up on that list in the Premier League if you look at the stats. He had decent technique, physicality, hold up the ball. He can't do any of that anymore. None of it.
Yeah.
He can't run. He can't run at all. And I saw it in the warm-up game against Wales. It should have been clear to Carlos Queiroz, honestly. I guess there's some seniority. Yeah, politics.
It's politics, man.
But it has to be over. It's over. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We're playing with 10 men if he's playing.
Yeah.
And if Ghana drop him against England, then things get a lot more interesting, in my opinion. I think we'll be a very different team. And I think we can actually be a threat, especially on the counter-attack. England, big favourites for sure. But Ghana can be dangerous. And I genuinely believe that if Jordan Ayew comes out of the team, then, yeah, we've got a chance. Yeah. Just now mentioning the games yesterday, right? And just in the last couple of days, we have a few teams that are already through. We have USA through, one again.
Great performance.
Yeah, very impressive they've been. And honestly, maybe the most impressive team so far. Obviously, out of the teams that have played two games for sure. So they're through. Mexico are also through. They beat South Korea 1-0. Didn't play as well, but they're making it through. And I don't think there'll be an easy game for anyone. And of course, they've got the home fans, backing them.
Yeah.
Canada won 6-0. Against Qatar, red card and stuff, but they're through, and that's the key. And Switzerland also are through after beating Bosnia. I just touch on Johan Manzambi, sorry, Manzambi, who plays for Freiburg. Extraordinary performance off the bench. 2 goals, just changed the game completely, and it's just ridiculous that he wasn't starting, honestly.
I saw the Europa League. I think it was a semi-final. Was it the Europa League the Europa League semi-final? Braga versus Freiburg. He was very good in that game. Like he played very well, and so that was the first time I've actually seen him. I saw him in action. So then I'm seeing Remo Freuler, Erbischer, Xhaka, and I'm looking. I was thinking, don't they have any other players? And I'm seeing Manzambi come off the bench, and it's like, okay, yeah. See, so what's going on here?
Right.
Like, I understand the seniority, but this is probably the guy who's most likely to make something happen in this team.
If you could have described exactly what that team was missing, it would literally be a player of his profile to me. Like someone who has that pace and power, can win the ball, drive the ball,
He can
but then
shoot.
can shoot. He can, because you got
Yeah,
Mbola up front, right? He can run
yeah,
off him and shoot.
yeah,
And it's perfectly set up for him. And it's
yeah,
like, okay, I didn't know. I'd heard his name, but I'd never watched him
yeah,
prior to this, right? And I'm not gonna make almost judgments off one game. And you might say, oh, how can you say that he should have been playing if you know. It's not my job. I'm not part of the Switzerland setup, right? I just
yeah,
watched after that game. I went to watch his highlights from this season at Freiburg. He's very clearly maybe Switzerland's best player already.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's anyway. If he starts the next game, I will revise my call of them being the biggest flops because it was looking very good until about 75 minutes into that game or whenever he came
yeah,
on. So yeah,
yeah,
yeah, and who else? Oh yeah, Morocco beat Scotland, so they should be through.
yeah,
Scotland might need something against Brazil. Brazil
yeah,
beat Haiti 3-0. Cunha scored twice. Good performance from him. Good finish. The second goal. Vinicius scored as well. Not too much you can take from that. I think they're still finding their feet. Not Vitinha, sorry. Rafinha, it looks like he's injured. So he's definitely out of the next game. We'll be interested to see if he's injured for the whole World Cup or not.
mhm.
Not sure that will actually be a blow when I actually think
I
about the
was, I
balance,
was, I was
interestingly.
thinking about it as well. Like I was like,
Mm,
they don't really. I don't think they're gonna miss him too much. Don't get me wrong.
yeah,
If he's playing the correct role, he's a very important player. But
yeah,
like, if he's just playing to fit him into the team, then it's like, nah. They have other players that can do a role and do a job.
exactly.
Yeah,
And Turkey, they're out already.
that was
Any thoughts?
one of my dark horses.
Right? Yeah,
I was because I remember in the Euros they had Yildiz played very well and Goulet played very well, and I was expecting just a continuation of those levels of performances. But when you look at the lineup again, it's just I think it's the same effect of the Portugal lineup. You look at some of these players, you think, oh, big names. A lot of these guys are overrated midfielders.
yeah.
It's not. It wasn't convincing, and yeah, I'm surprised, but at the same time, I'm not like it doesn't. I'm not heartbroken or anything because when I'm actually looking at the performance and thinking about the shot, I'm like, you know what, I was far off the mark. That's all it was. It wasn't just
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I think certain guys, Chauhan Noglu in open play, a
yeah,
bit overrated. Um, and okay, also yesterday we had Netherlands winning 5-1 against Sweden. Much better performance from them compared to the
yeah.
first game. And my guy was in the lineup, and everything changed.
Brian Robbie.
I said it to you guys right in the group chat when I was saying what lineup I'll pick for Netherlands at the start of the tournament. I said, bring in Robbie. You have to play Robbie. He just
Do you
makes
know?
everything work.
Do you know what's funny about that? Yeah, Thomas Frank and those guys. Yeah, I think Thomas Frank was talking about it at halftime. He's like, they saw Bobby in the lineup. They're like, oh, Bobby, why is Bobby playing in the lineup? Like, I think these are big managers, and they're not
Right.
understanding the effect that a guy like that Brian Bobby can have, especially against centre backs that need to come and play close to him. Like there's not many defenders that can play against Robbie and be like, yeah, that was a nice 90 minutes for me. Nah, he's gonna cause
Right.
everybody problems.
That's it.
And
And this is the
yeah,
thing. If you understand who Gakpo is as a player, if you understand
yeah,
who Reinders is as a player, if you understand who
yeah,
Marlin is as a player,
yeah,
they're not players that can control things. They're not guys that can do everything by themselves. They're guys that need someone to play off, all of them, their games,
yeah,
in different
yeah,
ways, in different areas of the pitch. They need someone to play off. So despite having De Jong and Gravenberch, if you're talking about actually challenging the better teams of the World Cup, for those attackers to be effective, they're going to need that reference point, that someone like a Robbie, and that's why he's so important for them. I'm not saying he's the best striker in the world or anything. It's just
yeah.
it's exactly what those players around him needed, and
And
yeah,
it's interesting as well because the last tournament, I think Memphis, even though Memphis is not like a very, very big guy, he's not very super strong. Last tournament, he he did provide a little bit of that kind of play. Like they didn't have Bobby last tournament, but Memphis he was a bit younger, a bit more mobile. He was providing a bit more of a focal point up front where you can get the ball to his feet, he can hold off defenders, and he can bring in other players. And they started the tournament. Who was up front the first game?
It was
It was
Marlon, and
Marlon up front with Somerville on the right. Marlon's a good player, but he's not going to hold the ball up. He's not going to, he's not going to
okay,
provide. He's not going to
see,
provide that focal point for the other players to play off. And so that
he's
Bobby
one of those
change,
players, Marlon, right? That
yeah,
gets managers, gets fans confused because they're always like, "Why is he?"
yeah,
Oh, they're so confused about how he played so well at Roma and
mm-hmm,
why it's not quite working out in other places when he's playing on the wing. He's not a winger, firstly,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
But it doesn't mean he's a striker that can play as a striker in any team. No, he's a
yeah,
striker if you just let him concentrate on using his pace, running through and goal, running in a straight line,
yeah,
just like you know, if you wanted to play like a Rashford up front, it's not going to work in a
yeah,
lot of systems. But there's a lot of
mm-hmm,
systems he'll be very dangerous, maybe more dangerous than out wide.
yeah,
So it's 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 all about understanding your players. He doesn't have those two like number 10 types around him like
mm-hmm,
he does at Roma.
mm-hmm,
So it's not gonna be as effective, and he's not gonna help
mm-hmm,
Gakpo then, and he's not gonna help
mm-hmm,
Reinders as well. So
mm-hmm.
it's all interlinked. You really have to think about this stuff. Um,
Van de Ven had a good game. I was quite happy with Van de
yeah,
Ven. Dumfries,
Dumfries,
Denzel
yeah.
Dumfries. That's my guy, man. He was playing those Trent crosses, like trying to show Trent, I'm coming for your spot, my guy.
Yeah. I mean,
But yeah,
yeah, he played really well. I think Sweden were done a bit tactically because what you had was they were playing five at the back, and then their Netherlands wingers would occupy their wing backs, and then just
yeah,
Robbie would basically be occupying all the centre backs.
yeah,
And because of Robbie, they're able to do that. And then now you have your fullbacks were basically free. They were basically free
yeah,
for Netherlands because
yeah,
no one is there to defend against them. No, they didn't have any wingers to track back or anything. So yeah, it worked really well tactically. And I think they can do something as we mentioned in this tournament. Now that Robbie's going to be starting, I do think they can. They won't be easy to beat. They can go late in knockout rounds. I don't think they'll beat a France or Spain if everyone's fit, but
yeah.
yeah, they can do something.
And also, I want to
Germany,
give a,
there you go
I
again.
want, I want to give a quick shout out to Ronald Koeman. In the past, I've had a few beefs with him in terms of
Yeah,
the signings and the way the teams that he's put out. But that was a good performance yesterday. I think everything was on point. Robbie, the substitutions were good. Like yesterday, I think he did himself he did himself quite proud. I was quite happy with what he did yesterday. I was quite happy. But yeah,
yeah,
shout out
I
Ronald Koeman.
agree.
Yeah,
And Germany beat Ivory Coast, a game I was really looking forward to. I was gutted in the end. That last minute. Ah man. Anyway, that was a heartbreaker. But I think it was a very toe-to-toe game, very balanced game. Other, Ivory Coast didn't get Bonnie into the game enough for me. That was the main
yeah,
thing. I think that's where they struggled, and Germany defended pretty well. In fairness, I think Germany again. They look like a good team. I think their starting 11 is a team that will be dangerous for everyone. It's very well balanced. I think
yeah,
I've seen more of Mecha in this tournament, and he's physically he win. He gets about the pitch. He's very strong and fast, and he has won the ball back quite a lot in this tournament. And that's
yeah,
exactly what they need in that team to kind of make the Kimmich at right back thing work. Because Kimmich will
yeah,
do the build up play more, from right back. He's so good at the build up play that he's almost doing Nemecha's job for him. Nemecha can just drive, play passes when he's more in the final third. Like it was a great pass, great assist for the final goal for the winner. But yeah, he had a very impressive performance, Nemecha. Kimmich at right back's an interesting one because I think he's better in midfield, but it's all
of
about
course.
situations, right? Because the
Yeah,
first goal for Ivory Coast, Diamande skinned him,
yeah.
and he would have skinned most players in that situation. He's a very dangerous player when he
Mhm.
can get going. But yeah, I think Germany overall are decently balanced, but I think this Sane and Wirtz thing out wide will cost them in just balance wise in a really big game because
Yeah,
Sane never been as big a fan on the right hand side, and he's approaching 30 now, and
yeah.
Wirtz isn't a winger to me either. So
Hmm.
I think balance wise that will be the thing that probably costs them. Ivory Coast, I don't know. For me, the standout in the whole game probably was Inal. Unao Ulai, Christ Unao Ulai. I don't know if most they were referring to him as the now, so I'll call him the now.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, we talked about him before in our preview for the players to watch, right? Standout performance. He's got a bit of everything. Press resistant, winning the ball back.
I just wanna say one thing. Yeah, you know, people talk about midfielders and they talk about Declan Rice, and in my mind, that's not a midfielder. Christ in now, somebody like that. That's a midfielder. Somebody, you give them you could see the confidence his teammates have in him, because they know you give this guy the ball, you're not gonna take the ball off him. I'm giving him the ball. I mean, they just defended the corner. Ama's passing the ball in a dangerous area. Quick spin, he's gone. Like there's no level of pressure that he's afraid of. He can take it. He's a young guy, and yeah, he's got a great future ahead of him, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, Diamande, he had those dangerous moments, but I wouldn't say he had his best game. He's an interesting one. He might be better on the right, from what I've seen. Because maybe it just allows him to be a little bit more automatic, if that makes sense. Although he's decent on the left as well. I really want to see Ivory Coast at one time in this tournament play this. I was thinking, what's the perfect system to get the best out of them? I want them to play Diamande on the right, Ahmad right centre mid with Sangare holding, Inao left centre mid, bring in Bazumana Toure on the left, and Bonnie up front. And I think that is so difficult in a 4-1-4-1 formation for other teams to deal with. Kessie played well yesterday, in fairness.
Yeah, he was
good.
But
I just think in terms of the options and how dangerous and how it would just be too much for a lot of teams to handle. I would really like to see that, especially in the next game. And I think Ivory Coast can go to another level. I genuinely do think that. I think they can start playing more proactively, be the team in control. And I think that could add something to them. It looks like Single might be injured now.
Yeah, I think he's done his hamstring. But
it's a shame. But Goela Due at right back, I'm a big fan of. I think he's better at right back. Single might be better at centre back, to be honest. I'm not sure. It's hard to say. He's probably similar in both. But yeah. So they have options. They have depth as well. Yeah, and just before we wrap up this first part, I just want to touch on today's games. So we've got Spain against Saudi Arabia. Should be an easy game, but Lamine Yamal, that's the key. Because we've seen against Cape Verde, if he's not playing, this isn't an easy game. But he should play at least the first half, and I think that would be enough to win them the game, pretty much. And you agree with that?
Yep, I think Lamine Yamal, I mean, first of all, him coming in for, let's say, Ferran Torres is already a big change. But then if it was to be Lamine Yamal, I don't know the fitness of Nico Williams. I don't know how fit he is. But if it was to be Yamal and Williams, that would have a massive effect in the way that they played. And I think Spain would be a lot more in the attacking areas. They'd have a lot more confidence to just go for it and play more difficult passes, put ball into the box, like they struggled to do against Cape Verde. So I think that it should be enough to take them to get them the victory. Just Lamine Yamal coming in, yeah.
We've also got Belgium against Iran. Belgium drew their first game to Egypt. Iran drew their first game to New Zealand. Belgium would feel they need to win that game and should be favourites. You'd think. You got Uruguay against Cape Verde, and New Zealand against Egypt as well. So yeah, that Spain game's one I'll probably want to watch the most, but I'll keep an eye on all of these games, to be fair. And we'll also drop tomorrow a roundup or a preview of the remaining games of match day 2. So watch out for that. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.